Welcome to Acro Yoga Global's Thai Massage with me, Len and Joey. Prepare a soft surface on the ground. Any combination of carpets, yoga mats, blankets, and pillows will do. Plan for some relaxing lighting and play some of your favorite music. Remember, there are no rules. Stop halfway if you need to, skip a portion, improvise. Take care of yourself. You'll want to communicate with your partner during the massage. You can use your words if that feels right, or these hand signals. You could signal for more pressure or harder. You could signal for less pressure or that hurts, and you can let your partner know that that feels really good. Let's get started. Begin in a comfortable seated position near your partner's feet. Ensure that they're lying on their back and are comfortable. Begin with some thumb press walking on one foot of your partner. So you can use your thumbs as your main contact point and just push down into the sole of their foot, all between the heel and pad of the foot. I encourage you to use straight arms to make this a little bit less effortful. Feel free also to reposition yourself if you need to in order to get a better angle, to have better access to their foot, so you can offer this massage from a place of comfort. Check in with your partner often about the pressure. How's that pressure, Milan? More or less? Okay, a little bit more. Now you can follow the same pattern that I am of rocking my weight on and then off, simply shifting the shoulders forward and then back. And every time that you shift the shoulders forward, you allow your weight to sink into your partner's foot through your thumbs, or whatever contact point you have during the massage. Maintain this rocking forward and back. And move your hands up your partner's leg from the feet onto their lower leg. I invite you to skip the ankle and then use your entire hands as your pressure points. You can continue this rocking on, rocking off. You're also welcome to just remain and place some pressure on your partner's leg. If you need to reposition your legs, please do so as often as is necessary. Explore your partner's lower leg between the knee and ankle, using your entire hand now, not just your thumbs. Your entire hands as your points of contact, points of pressure. How's the pressure, Milan? More or less? Okay. Move now from the lower leg to the upper leg. You may need to reposition your legs so that you're comfortable. I'm opting for a double kneeling position here, but you choose the position that works best for you. And continue this double palm press walking up your partner's upper leg, shifting the weight on and off. If you'd rather walk right and left, shifting your weight to the right and left to walk your hands around, that's another valid option. Collect your partner's knee, bending it slightly, creating some room for you to sit down, and turn to face the direction of your partner's feet. Collect that leg and bring it over your lap so that your lower back is touching their hamstring, the back of their thigh. And then you can move your bum back a little bit So you get more contact with your back and their thigh. Pull on the ankle to put some pressure of your own back into their thigh. You can even rest your elbow on your knee in order to make the pulling a bit easier. If you're already here, keep going. I'm going to go through that explanation again a little bit more slowly. So you're welcome to join me this second time if it didn't make sense for you the first time. Collect your partner's knee. You bend it. You can even place it foot on the ground just to give yourself a breather. Sit down with your back to your partner. Place their lower leg on your lap and then move your bum backwards until you can feel their hamstring, the back of their thigh, against your lower back. Collect their ankle and pull it across your body to generate more pressure of your back into their hamstring. You can also round your back a little bit to accentuate this movement. As I mentioned before, you have the option of hooking your own elbow into your knee to make the pulling a little bit easier. How's the pressure, Milan? Okay. And release the pressure. Turn to the side and lower that outside knee down to the ground. You may need to reposition your hips to do this, and you can enter this sort of Janu Shirshasana yoga position with one knee bent, one leg straight, and deposit your partner's leg on top of yours. From here, initiate a bit of a rhythmic movement with your knee by moving your knee up and down, shaking your partner's leg, allowing it to shake slightly in and out. You can use your hands to accentuate the movement by pushing with your thumbs and pulling in with your fingers at the same rhythm of your leg. You can allow your hands to stay near the knee or perhaps travel toward the hip and ankle and then back toward the knee again. And bring that shaking to a close. I'm going to switch to the other leg. I'll demonstrate entering the next technique from here. So we'll place our partner's foot on our hip and then turn to face them and come to a kneeling position. I'm going to go to the other side to give you another view. So place partner's foot on hip. Turn to face your partner. You may need to put a hand on the ground on the other side and enter a kneeling position, semi-kneeling position. If it didn't make sense for you to go through that transition, then just exit the previous position and enter this one whatever way makes sense to you. Collect your partner's leg, have your own foot on the ground on the same side as their lifted leg, and place that foot on your hip. Secure it with the same side hand, and your free hand can rest on your partner's upper thigh close to their hip. And then simply draw circles with their knee. These are circles with your own hips and with their knee. And check in with your partner. See if they want bigger circles or more pressure in your hand on their upper thigh. And explore both directions too. And bring the movement to a close. Collect your partner's leg and just hold it in the air. Switch your knees so the lifted knee goes down beside your partner's hip and the knee that was previously on the ground lifts up. And step over your partner's straightened leg. Guide your partner's knee pit onto your thigh and bend your knee to find the water pump position. One hand on the ankle or foot, pressing down and then up again to encourage this movement of guiding the femur up and consequently the hips up and down. You can do this a couple of times. You're also welcome to use your free hand to accentuate the movement along the thigh. You can continue this slowly, or you can explore a rhythmic option. You're also welcome to explore traction of simply holding the leg down and leaning away from your partner slightly. And you can check in with them and see what they like best today. Milan, do you like slow movement or fast movement or the traction? Okay. And whatever variation of the technique you chose, come back to center or bring the movement to a close and guide your partner onto their side. So grab the hand that's on the same side as you are and just guide it over their body so that it won't be left behind. And then use your hands behind their lower back and hips to help bring their hips up slightly, encouraging them onto their side. Now I invite you to ask your partner to make any kind of adjustment they need to feel comfortable. So Milan, feel free to shift and feel comfortable if you're not in a comfortable spot. And we'll continue the water pump technique, but from this side position now. So you can also explore pushing down and guiding the thigh up. But what often feels best in this position is more of the traction style technique of leaning back. But I invite you to explore. Next, create a clamp with your hands on the front and back side of your partner's top hip. One hand at the front and one hand at the back. Apply some pressure between your palms to lock your hands together. Not too much pressure. And then create some movements, some circles with your hands to explore some hip circles here. Always check in with your partner and always check in with yourself. Try both directions. And bring that movement to a close. Slowly guide your partner into the side-lying position by releasing their leg onto the ground. Find a double kneeling or comfortable seating position behind their back and begin a light massage along the top side of their back with your thumbs, starting near the hips. Don't press on the spine. Try to find the musculature above the spine on the top half of the back. And work your way up toward the shoulders and then back down toward the hips again. I invite you to use straight arms, but if you feel more comfortable bending your elbows, that's fine. You can use the walking technique of bringing the weight on the right side, then the left side, and shifting in that manner. Or you can opt for pressing with both hands, leaning forward, and then rocking back to release the weight, shift the position of the hands, and then lean forward again. We'll focus on the shoulder area next, so you may need to shift your position so that you're kneeling in line with your partner's shoulders. One hand cups the trap area between the shoulder and neck, and the other one the back of the shoulder blade. And then use your hands as mittens and create a bit of a clamp on and around your partner's shoulder blade. You can also move your hands in circular motions as you're doing that clamping. I invite you to be explorative with this one. And ask your partner what feels nice. If they want more or less pressure. Place your hands on the ground behind you and sit down on your buttocks. Now you can use your heels as a passive form of weight, allowing your legs to just drop heavily on your partner's back, and walk your heels along the same line that you'd previously followed with your thumbs. On the top half of your partner's back, the part that's exposed to the ceiling, to the sky. And if this doesn't work for you for whatever reason, you can return to the thumb press walking using your hands as your main point of pressure along your partner's back. How's the pressure, Milan? Okay. And one more time, up and down your partner's back. Remove your feet from your partner's back and come back to a kneeling position. Collect your partner's top leg and bring it towards you, perhaps supporting it at the knee and ankle. Place your own knee along your partner's buttocks to guide them into a psoas stretch, a stretch along the front side of the hip flexors. Now, you may need to navigate their hip position so that they're not lying directly on their hip. So you can check in with them and make sure that they're in a spot that feels comfortable. Apply your knee on their buttocks, one hand on the knee and one hand on the ankle, and then bring their knee and ankle back toward you, encouraging them into a stretch along the front of the hip. Now you may start to feel some resistance, and maybe that's a good spot to stop, but the best way to know where to stop is to check in with your partner. Milan, would you like more or less, or stay here? Okay. And once you find the ideal stretch part, you can just rest there and breathe together. And one more breath cycle. Inhale and exhale out of the stretch. Guide your partner's knee back to the ground. Encourage them onto their back once more, perhaps with one hand on the hip, one hand on the shoulder, and just get them to roll back onto their back. You can replace their arms on either side of their body, return to their legs, grab hold of each ankle, and pull symmetrically backwards. You can do this from a standing position or from a low position, whatever works best for you. Just evening them out a little bit. Rest their legs on the ground. And begin on the second side. If you'd like to follow the guidance of the video again, then I invite you to start over the instructional and do the second side. After you're done the second side, Then take a moment to close the massage, perhaps a couple deep breaths with closed eyes, and then thank your partner for allowing you to practice Thai massage today. Thank you, Milan.